organizer. I love to explore different aspects of the KonMari Method philosophy, sharing tips on organizing and decluttering, and just how to simplify your life to make more room for joy. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will hit that subscribe button and come join me here each week for a new conversation. Today we are talking about the life-changing magic of tidying up. I'm not talking about Marie Kondo's book, but I'm talking about specifically how using her method and tidying up actually changed my life. I was inspired to make this video after talking about all the different benefits I see after tidying up at a recent speaking engagement. I was sharing all the different ways that I saw changes in my life. And of course, I talk about the life-changing magic and life-changing effects of tidying up at every single speaking engagement. However, this time was different because I had a little bit more time and I was able to give specific examples, and so I wanted to share that with you as well. So let's get started. The first way tidying up has changed my life is it helped me take control back in my life. And by that I mean it's like after tidying up, I was able to get back into the driver's seat of my own life. If I was being truly honest, I would say in my 20s and my 30s, I lived a lot of my life just going with the flow of things. I really didn't consider what I wanted out of life. I think if I think back to my teenage years, when I was in high school, my only goal in life was to go into fashion school, and I achieved that goal. I got into the school of my choice and I was so happy. And I think from that moment on, I felt like everything would just fall into place even when it didn't. Maybe that's exactly why I stopped thinking about different career goals or what I want out of life. I was just assuming that once I finished school, everything would just fall into place, and then I became really just following the flow of things. If you looked at my previous employment history, I was one of those long-term employees. I had a part-time job when I was going through university. I was working at the bank, putting myself through university. And even after I finished university, I was still at that job for another year or two. Eventually, I ended up quitting only because I was too tired from working 7 days a week, because I was working at the bank on the weekend and I was working at my full-time job Monday to Friday. And my first full-time job out of university was in the field of my study, and so I felt really fortunate to have that job. And I ended up staying there for, I believe it's like 8 or 9 years, and I only ended up leaving because I was moving across the country with my husband. If I look back at that time, there wasn't really anything I would change about it because I really loved the people that I worked with. But at the same time, I think I stayed because it was so comfortable rather than I wanted to challenge myself. Tidying up really helped me learn so much about myself and reevaluate everything from what I want my career to be like, what kind of mother do I want to be, what kind of partner do I want to be to my husband. I just finally took back control of my life, and I was able to live much more intentionally and much more in alignment with my values. I honestly believe tidying up has helped me break out of my comfort zone, and I was able to see clearly when my corporate job didn't spark joy anymore, and it really gave me the courage to follow my passion and start my own business. I mean, starting my own business is something I've wanted to do for as long as I could remember. I talked about it so many times when I was in fashion school that I was going to start my own brand or start my own business, and I didn't end up having the courage to do it. And I found a full-time job, so I was really comfortable there. But now I'm almost 5 years into my business, and I'm so grateful that I did. And yeah, I really believe tidying up was the step to get me there. The second way tidying up has changed my life is that it helped me be much more calm and less stressed. I believe feeling more calm and being less stressed really helped every single aspect of my life. Like if I'm just at home, I'm not worried that someone's gonna pop over. Of course, right now no one is popping over anywhere, but pre-pandemic, I didn't have any trouble if people wanted to just come over, drop off something, come in for coffee, or if we had a last minute dinner party, or if I was to see a friend, or if I found out a friend was free, I could be like, hey, you want to come over for dinner? Like that was really easy for me, and not having to stress about my environment, and just even feeling more calm about my space has made me a much better host. because I remember when I used to entertain before tidying up, we still entertain sometimes, but it would be really stressful. It would be stressful for me before people come because I would have to tidy up the space. It would be stress for me the entire time and afterwards because I knew I had to clean up and that everything was just so much effort, and I'm like, why are we doing this? But then after tidying up, everything just became so much more effortless and so much easier. So whenever we entertain, I mean, at one point we've had large gatherings of like 20-30 people and for birthday parties and things like that, and it didn't stress me out at all. And even if I see all the kids playing and everything is messy, it doesn't stress me out because I know that with some easy steps I can take, I have the skills to put everything back within like 5-10 minutes. And that's the thing, it's like my home doesn't always have to be neat and tidy, but just knowing where everything goes really expedites the tidying process. And when I know that, even at its worst, I can get my home back to how I want it to look in 10-20 minutes, sometimes even just 5 minutes, that just understanding and knowing that in itself has reduced so much stress in my life and helped me to be present in the moment. The third way tidying up has changed my life is it helped me feel more joy and happiness. Tidying up definitely made me a much happier person in general. Specifically with the KonMari Method, every decision you make about what you're keeping, you're asking yourself, does this item bring me joy? Seeing all those joyful items around my home not only stir up great memories and happy memories, it also just makes me feel grateful for all the great experiences and friends and relationships that I've had in my life. And because the tidying process was essentially you're learning about what truly brings you joy and you're asking yourself that question like hundreds of thousands of times, you become an expert in joy. And because of that, I made a lot of decisions. It's like I've trained my brain to make decisions based on what brings me joy. And so you start doing activities that brings you joy, you see people that bring you joy, you make choices in life that brings you joy. And I think joy and being happy is like this practice. The more you do it, the more you feel it. And because of tidying, it helped teach me really how to be a happier and more joyful person. The fourth way tidying up has changed my life is it helped me be healthier. I truly believe tidying up has made me a healthier person with healthier habits. So first of all, before tidying up, our home was really hard to clean, and we probably didn't clean as much as we should. We definitely didn't clean nearly as much as we do now. And every time we do it, it just feels like this chore. That's what it felt like. It's just a chore. I believe tidying up has made me a healthier person because having a clean environment does make you healthier, just from the immediate benefits of like I have pretty bad allergies, and when my home is really cluttered, that's when my allergy was at its worst. And when your allergies are bad, you can't sleep well, and then there's like a domino effect. And having a tidying space also helped me exercise more, because if I wanted to just roll a yoga mat and do some exercises, I'm not saying I do that all the time, but if I wanted to, I could just do that. I didn't have to do any other moving things around. There's no obstacles standing in my way for me to exercise. So I did start exercising more, even if I'm not at home doing exercise, even just going out for a walk or going to the gym. I find that having a tidy home helped me do that because I'm not stressed about needing to put more time into organizing my home. I do have that free time to exercise. And tidying up has made cooking so much more enjoyable and so much easier because my kitchen is no longer this maze that I have to get through to cook a dish. If I wanted to make something, I know where all the ingredients are, I know where all the equipment are, and there is like lots of counter space. I never have to worry about how I'm gonna make something. I don't know, like it's like if you want to do something, you just do it. And because we're cooking at home a lot more, we're eating healthier as a result. Because we used to eat out so many times, like for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Like we would go out so many times in a week, and now we go out maybe less than once a month. Being able to control every single item that goes into your food definitely will make you a healthier person. The fifth way tidying up has changed my life is it helped me improve my relationships. I think because I am a calmer, less stressed, happier person, I'm a much better person to be around. I have more patience for my child. I feel like there's less tension between my partner and I. And even with my friends, I feel like I was able to have stronger friendships because of tidying. Sharing all the meals and coffee and conversations with our guests really is what makes stronger friendships. And with my spouse, my husband and I have been together for more than 20 years. And I would say that in the 20 years that we've been together, we've had a really loving, supportive, awesome relationship. Like we really, really do. I can count on one hand the number of times my husband and I fight in the last 20 years because we just don't fight. We have conversations and we talk about things and we really enjoy each other's company and we love spending time together. However, I also have to say that things were a lot more tense and there were a lot more struggles when our home was cluttered and untidy. Just because we don't fight doesn't mean we don't have conversations where we discuss things. And by removing that extra layer of stress and tension away, it's like we're just happy to hang out together all the time. So I really do believe that tidying up has also helped my relationship with my husband as well. I think just like they say about being in a cluttered environment can increase your cortisol, I think being in a tidy environment has exactly the opposite effect and can really help you feel like calmer and just happier in general. So those are the 5 ways that tidying up has changed my life. And honestly, I couldn't be more grateful that I read Marie Kondo's book those many years ago. And if you haven't seen my video on my full journey, I will link that video up on top. And so you can definitely check that out. If tidying up has changed your life in any way, I would love for you to comment below and let me know how you feel tidying up has changed you. And so until next time, choose joy, live well.